It was a brisk February morning. Husbands and wives, boyfriends and girlfriends came out to enjoy the Tennessee Central on a Valentine's Day date. Little did they know that a murder was about to happen. Not just any murder, but a murder on 7628.
My name is Wayne, and I'm going to be your car host today. And then my son Jason is also a car host this morning. If you need any help, if you have any questions, we'll be glad to help you out. We have to give you a little bit of a safety spiel, okay? Because we want you to be safe and we want you to have fun. A couple things. One, we just ask that you keep your shoes on. One, because it's so cold. Two, when you're going from car to car, the cars will kind of
smelly feet.
Slide back and forth a little bit, so you need to have your shoes on and just kind of step over where it slides if you can. We ask that when we're parked in Watertown, if we're parked here, don't climb under the car or don't climb on top of the car. Okay? Believe it or not, we've had people try to do it, and then people have gotten really hurt.
While the train is parked, we cannot get on top of it or underneath it.
Correct.
What about while it's going?
While it's going, no, thank you. I appreciate that question. No, while we're moving, no, don't get on top and don't go under. Yes, sir.
Do you know if Watertown is a dry town?
A car host has to be aware of everything going on in his train car. And this father and son are going to have their hands full today. They'll be right in the middle of it.
Because I was thinking, what in the world are they talking about? I don't understand that, but now that Billy said that.
Yeah, it's a murder mystery, so
Okay.
I'm glad that it's a murder mystery, let's just say that.
Me too, because that didn't look very good.
This is what it says. She's all there.
That is the only difference.
What's he doing
It
there?
Stage and screen, she's returned to her Broadway roots to star in the new hit Broadway Valentines musical, Until Death Do We Part. Now, she's taking the show on tour with her very handsome co-star Matt Richards and her understudy and personal assistant, the lovely Miss Julie Burton. Now, Vivian's producer husband, Jack Roberts, is also on board. Now, Jack is known for the countless affairs that he's had during their rocky 25-year marriage. Yeah. Now, many people wonder how much this roller coaster ride of a marriage has contributed to the recent heart problems that Vivian has had. Well, in any case, I'm sure that this train ride is going to provide this reporter with an abundant amount of materials for my next series of celebrity columns. Well, in fact, this is the kind of opportunity that most reporters would kill for. In fact, I think I see Mrs. Roberts entering now with her co-star Matt Richards. Mrs. Roberts, William Williams here, celebrity reporter for the New York Times. I wonder if I might have a few minutes of your time for the paper.
Yes, Mr. Williams. I suppose for the media.
Oh, thank you. Now, Mrs. Roberts, it's common knowledge that your tour was postponed due to your recent heart problems. How do you feel now? Do you feel that you're strong enough to begin your tour at this time?
I hardly believed that I would be on tour if I weren't up to the challenge. And the surgery to insert my pacemaker went better than expected. And now I feel 15 years younger.
Why, most people think that she looks 15 years younger as well.
Huh. Oh, yes, of course you do. Yes. Now, this is a rather long tour. Do you have a physician traveling with you to monitor your heart condition?
That isn't necessary. I'm able to monitor my heart through a transmitter through telephone lines. So, between modern technology and my overprotective husband, I have nothing to worry about.
Well, that's great to hear. Now, Mr. Richards, I imagine that this venture is going to be great for your career, from male model to Broadway star. Many people refer to your rise as an overnight success. I'm sure that most of America remember your face from your many Calvin Klein underwear ads that you've been featured in.
I don't think it's his face that America remembers.
Well, this has been a dream of mine for years, and thanks to years of hard work, Calvin Klein's low-rise briefs, and Vivian, my dream has come true.
Now, Mrs. Roberts, you mentioned the support of your husband earlier. Now, there have been constant reports about your husband Jack's numerous affairs. How are things between you and Mr. Roberts, and is he fully committed to you at this time?
Jack has had his diversions, but that's all in the past. Our marriage is stronger than it's ever been. Mr. Williams, if you have any more questions, you can wait for me outside our private car. Mr. Richards and I would like to continue rehearsing some of our scenes for the show.
Well, yes, of course. Thank you for your time, Mrs. Roberts. Mr. Richards.
What a vile little man. Reporters must be one of the lowest forms of life on the planet. Imagine him bringing up Jack's affairs and me just having had surgery.
You poor thing. Shall we get back to the scene that we were rehearsing?
Why, Mr. Richards, what scene would that be?
Well, the love scene, of course. Oh, Vivian.
Oh, Matt!
Why don't you leave Jack and come away with me?
Well, right after this tour, we don't want any more bad press. Jack has that market cornered.
Well, with your talent and celebrity status, and my charm and devilishly good looks, we'll be unstoppable.
We could be another Katharine Hepburn and Spencer Tracy.
Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie.
Well, maybe.
Vivian, darling, there you are. Did you know there is a reporter waiting for you outside our private car?
Yes. Mr. Williams from the New York Times. Oh, what a vile little man. Let him wait. I don't know if I want to talk to him anymore.
Let's be a good girl now. You know we have to keep the press happy.
Well, you keep them happy with all your antics.
Now, darling, I thought all this was behind us now. You know you're the only one for me.
Jack, maybe you shouldn't have given up your acting career. It almost sounded convincing.
Mrs. Roberts, you wanted me to remind you that today's the day to dial into the hospital for your pacemaker check.
Well, thank you, Julie. But Matt has already helped me with that earlier today. That's all taken care of.
Well, Matt certainly seems to be very helpful all of a sudden.
Mrs. Roberts has helped out my career, and I do whatever I can to help out Mr. Roberts.
Yes, I'm sure of that.
Well, at least someone was there for me. Thank goodness Matt is traveling with us.
Mrs. Roberts, I told you I had some personal things to tend to this afternoon. Could have waited until I got back.
Listen, honey, you're traveling with us to be there for me, whenever and for whatever I decide.
But, Mrs. Roberts, I'm also a part of the company. I'm your understudy.
Listen, honey, don't get your hopes up. I don't plan on missing a performance. The audience is coming to see me, and I don't plan on disappointing them with you. Listen, Jack, I'm feeling a little exhausted right now. Why don't you walk me back to our car? I need to lie down and
Yes, darling.
you can rub my feet.
Huh, well, doesn't that make me the lucky one?
Can you believe that woman?
Actually, I think you're the one that's unbelievable.
Oh, Matt!
Oh, Julie!
Oh, she's never going to let me perform on the stage. Well, at least as long as she's alive.
Don't worry about it, sweetheart. I'll make sure you get everything that you deserve.
We have to be careful. If she catches us, I will be on the first train back to New York. She wants me all to herself.
I've got Vivian right where I want her. Trust me. Have I ever let you down? Remember, I'm the one that suggested she hire you in the first place.
Oh, Matt, I do trust you. I'll do whatever you want me to do. I'm all yours.
That's what I like to hear.
Oh, Matt, we finally deserve to have some type of happiness in our lives.
Darling, you're so right. We both have worked so long, so hard, for what we want, for what we deserve. But most importantly, we look so good together.
I know.
Boy, do I have a scoop. I need to get this off to the paper right away.
What happened?
Vivian Roberts is dead.
dead!
How did it happen?
Well, she said that she wanted to go back to their car to lie down. Now, she seemed fine to me. I asked her if the rumors were true that she was having an affair with someone in the cast, and she slugged me across the jaw. She sure seemed to have all her strength to me. Anyway, they went on back into their car, and while I was gathering my notes, Jack runs out screaming that she was dead.
I can't believe it. Was it her heart?
I don't think so. I don't think she had one. Hey, I need to phone this story in, and my cell phone seems to be dead, just like Vivian. Do either of you have one I could borrow?
Yeah, sure. It's in my car. Follow me.
All right.
Poor Vivian. Well, wait for me.
The other thing is that sometimes in these kind of things, they actually have people who are plants in the train car. So it could be any number of these people right here. Could be even you. Could be me. Interesting little setup we have here. You know, two of the actors were still in this car when the lady died, so that would make a lot of people think they couldn't be involved. But you know, I've seen enough Law and Order, boom, boom, and so I know that they don't have to be there to actually kill her. And you know, she had some heart issues. She didn't really check in with her doctor, so her pacemaker was giving her some trouble. Her husband was probably, you know, trying to rub her feet through her shoes. That's probably a problem because you got to really squeeze hard. The reporter was kind of an interesting deal. He was a real interesting deal. I'm not sure if he had anything to do with it. But the two people in here had a lot going on her dying. So I don't think the husband had enough motive for her to die. She was annoying, but I don't know, most husbands probably wouldn't kill because she's annoying. The reporter, I'm not sure he could overpower her to kill her. But these two in here had a lot riding on her dying, especially the girl. But I don't know. So it's an interesting little thing. It only took about 10 minutes for them to set up the whole program, and now here all we are is just sitting here wondering what really happened.
So do you think it's possible that that guy did it?
It's very possible.
Yes, it is. It is.
You think it's possible?
I think he did it. I think he did it.
You better never rob a bank with that kid.
You're in trouble.
He's not. He doesn't even know you're talking about him. He's just.
I'm sorry.
You're on camera.
I'm trying to get a text message from my wife.
Or text message from the accomplice.
Before he gets down.
He's trying to cover it up, okay?
You know what? Here's the thing. I think we're all on the right track.
And I went in there and I said,
That's a weird train to fall. That's a weird train to fall.
She's got it going on. Oh, man. That's hilarious.
He did it, Jeff.
Who did what?
Who killed her? The murder.
You know, the murder that we were here to
killed her.
solve?
I think her feet was killing her.
Okay, you think that's what it was? He took his shoes off? You leaning towards the floozy?
Actually, I am.
Okay, so
I think
she's
she did.
on the floozy.
I think so.
Had to be the husband.
Okay.
I think it's the husband.
I think it's the
The
husband.
husband's response.
The husband.
It's the husband.
What do you think, husband?
Who?
I think it was the understudy.
The girl, the floozy. So this is the floozy section. This is the husband section.
And so what was there?
Kind of a mixed bag. I say the reporter. Yeah, I'm calling reporter.
I think David wanted to see more of that understudy.
So some people say it's this guy.
Think about it. He was yeah, the reporter could have done it. I'm between the reporter and the floozy too,
Okay.
because she.
Oh, that is good.
So see, some people say it's that guy.
Uh-oh.
I say it's that guy.
looks awful suspicious, doesn't he?
Who do you think would definitely awful?
The Blues Brothers.
The reporter.
Yeah, her shirt was short anyway, and then she would like that right there. Her shirt went all the way up here.
Give a spoiler right here. I know exactly what happened. Before she left, she said that she was going to get a foot rub from that guy. Right? Her husband. Thank you. When we first got on the train, you remember, the car master here said, keep your shoes on.
We just ask that you keep your shoes on.
There you go. That's how she died.
Took her shoes off, it killed
Took
her.
her shoes off for a foot rub. She's not with us anymore. Keep your shoes on, folks. Not everybody on the train is impressed with my skills. I'm okay with that. So as we're walking by, that lady says, hey, where are the murderers? And I'm like, right here. She sees you with the camera, she goes, hi. You should just let everybody take pictures with their phones and give everybody $1 and be done with it. All right, so we bought these tickets with an understanding that we could ride the train. And I didn't see any rules about how to ride it. We get here today, we're sitting in here, and the man comes in and says, oh, by the way, you're not allowed to climb on top of the train or under the train.
We ask that when we're parked in Watertown, if we're parked here, don't climb under the car or don't climb on top of the car.
Which I think is kind of a bait and switch. They should tell you that before you buy your tickets so you can make a good decision. So anyway, he comes back through a little bit later and I'm like, so if I climb on top of the train, are you going to chase me? He goes, no. I'm thinking, well, where's the enforcement on that rule? And what I think is, it's not a rule, it's more of a suggestion. You can't wear you gotta wear your shoes, you can't get on top of the train. Next thing you know, they're doing stuff you wouldn't even imagine.
We thought it was part of the murder mystery.
Know our story. So she's coming next.
Just in case you were wondering, this is the last train to Clarksville.
Jason, get your dad.
I can't believe she's dead.
She seems so strong after her surgery. That just goes to show you how fragile life can be. She was a great person. She had so much to give. Yes, and you had no trouble in taking it.
I don't believe I know what you mean by that remark.
Oh, come on now. Everyone knew that you were taking advantage of her. Why? I've known about your affair with my wife for some time. You hadn't worked in years and you used her to get into a Broadway show.
I got into the show because I'm talented and devilishly good looking.
You used my wife when she was in a very fragile state.
I don't think I've ever heard Vivian described as fragile before.
Oh, come on now. You're just as bad as Matt is. You pretended to care for my wife when in fact you wanted nothing more than to see her health deteriorate so that you would get your chance to star in a Broadway show.
Well, it's true that I wanted to be in the show, but I didn't want any harm to come to her. I cared for Vivian. Vivian was my idol.
It wouldn't surprise me if you wanted to see her dad so that you could have the role all to yourself. Well, sweetheart, it looks like you got what you wanted.
Well, yes, but not how I wanted it. Besides, you don't have any room to talk. You were never faithful to her. She knew what a deceitful, underhanded character you were, and you broke her heart.
Vivian and I had a marriage that worked for each other. We genuinely cared for each other. That's more than you can say about a lot of people today. We were committed to each other. Until death do we part.
Well, it looks like you helped the death part along a little bit.
Yeah.
I think you killed her.
It's interesting that you should use the word killed. The police feel that she was killed as well, except the word they used was murdered.
Murdered?
Yes, murdered. And if you ask me, you don't have to think too long to come up with a list of people who would have wanted to see her meet her maker.
What?
Oh no!
What?
Huh?
However, I believe you, Jack, would be at the top of that list, followed closely by Julie.
Don't be absurd. I'd never do anything to harm Vivian.
Neither would I. I cared for Vivian.
That's for the police to sort out, but for now they'd like to speak to you, Mr. Richards. You. That's right, you. They sent me to find you. Come on, I'll show you where they are.
That's right.
I can't believe that the police actually think that Vivian was murdered.
And what's worse, we're prime suspects.
Well, don't worry, sweetheart. They can't pin anything on us. After all, no one knows about our affair.
Oh, Jack, I love you.
Oh, Julie. I love you too.
You were a little rough on me earlier.
Whoa! I was rough on you. Now, how did you refer to me? Deceitful and underhanded?
Jack, you know that I didn't mean any of that.
I know. We just need to be careful, especially now.
Oh, I know that you'll take care of everything. I feel so safe in your arms.
Oh, don't worry. I'll take care of you, sweetheart.
Just promise me that you won't cheat on me the way that you cheated on Vivian.
Well, that will be a change for me, but anything you ask, sweetheart.
Well, the police are talking to Matt now. I wonder what they wanted him for.
Well, I don't know, but you know, he did spend most of the morning with Vivian.
Now, don't try to point suspicion away from yourself. After all, you're still my prime suspect. Everyone knew about your affairs. Vivian was just getting in your way, so you got rid of her. She was just excess baggage for you.
I told you, Williams, I had nothing to do with it. Well, even you said that there was a lot of people that wanted to see her dead.
That's right, I did. Which brings me to my suspect number 2, the understudy and personal assistant, standing, waiting, patiently in the wings, waiting for her chance to be a star. But she loses her patience. She does away with the leading lady, paving her way to the starring role.
Are you sure that you're a reporter and not a fiction writer? I told you that that is the last thing in the world that I'd wanted. All right, so I did resent the way that Vivian treated me. But I only wanted her to see that I was talented, for her to give me a chance. I never wanted things to turn out this way. As I said earlier, I genuinely cared for Vivian.
Now, Williams, if you were as smart as you think you are, you would know that the medical examiner said that her pacemaker just shut down. It caused her heart to stop.
But what caused the pacemaker to shut down? I probably shouldn't be telling you this, but I overheard that the phone that Vivian used for her pacemaker checks had been reprogrammed. It did not call the hospital like it was supposed to, but instead called another computer that sent a signal to her pacemaker telling it to shut down. And since you two are the only ones who had access to the phone, you're still my prime suspects.
We were not the only two that had access to the phones.
What?
I was running late, remember? Matt helped with the test.
That's right, he did.
Okay, so Matt had opportunity, but what would his motive be?
Me. He told me earlier that he would make sure that I got everything that I deserved. You see, Matt and I, well, we're having an affair.
You and Matt?
We'll talk about this later.
Now, you're sure about this?
Yes.
But now, if we can just get Matt to confess...
Leave it to me. I can get him to do anything. Matt, when he comes back, you two hide. I'll get a confession out of him.
I hope you're ready. I think I see him coming now.
Julie!
What?
Poogie Bear!
Oh.
Where is
back in the other car?
Oh, damn. Maybe we should go get some coffee. Oh, Matt, I was so worried while you were out there talking to the police.
Don't worry about me. I can take care of myself. It was you that I was worried about.
I can't believe how much you love me. I want you to know that I know what you did, and it's all right.
You do? It is?
That's right. I do. And it is. But do tell me, darling, how did you manage it?
It was easy. I know a computer medical geek guy that owed me a favor.
Oh.
He gave me the numbers.
Matt, the code is 8675309. That will kill the old bat.
And then I punched him in. Plus, couldn't stand the way she was treating you.
Well, that sounds like a confession to me. Come on, you scumbag. I'm taking you to the police.
Pookie Bear?
I told you to go back to the apartment.
Sorry, man.
You ratted me out!
Take him out of here. I'm tired of looking at his face. I hope you enjoy your time in prison.
Prison? I can't go to prison. You know what they'll do to me there? You know what they'll do to me there? I'm too pretty to go to prison, Pookie Bear!
Tell it to the judge.
Oh, Jack, I'm sorry. I should have told you. Well, you know how it is, though.
I guess you're right. I suppose I do know how it is. You know, maybe we were meant for each other.
Maybe we were. Let's go.
I still think it was her.
So the mastermind standing up right back there.
Yeah.
He called in the hit.
He twisted the whole thing to make him think it was
You know, we did it in a really elegant place across there.
Kill the broad.
John, stop.
Really hasn't played.
Nuts or pretzels.
Here comes shoe check.
Fun, we just ask that you keep your shoes on.
He's doing a shoe inspection.
I bet I did.
So, another murder mystery solved. The boyfriend did it, right? Or is it one of those cases where things are not always as they seem to be? Was it him or was it her? Or maybe it was him. Or could it be that the murder mystery play was just a cover for a deeper plot? Was it someone outside of the cast? Jason, would you be willing to talk to us about some evidence we found regarding the murder?
I'd rather not. I don't want to put that on YouTube.
It sounds like Jason knows something. I wonder who he's trying to protect.
He doesn't need the encouragement.
Jason seems like a nice young man, but his refusal to talk about aspects of the murder was a red flag, especially when he seemed to want to protect his father from any conversations about it. When we went back to look at our footage from that day, we found some very interesting conversations.
All you have to do is make this call. So don't deviate. Don't film it. It's a go. Go.
Face it. 309. Go. Go. So kill the old bat. Yes, go now.
Call now. Tell him to go kill the old bat.
Okay, kill the old bat!
8675309.
So it turns out innocent Jason was behind the plot that was behind the plot that was behind the plot. Who would have guessed it? Well, you know now.
I heard that guy back there did it.
I didn't realize this. She's come back to life.
She's alive!
She is alive. So the murder mystery is solved. Everyone's good, but she is sick. Now, I don't know how you end up being on a trained murder mystery acting troupe if you get motion sickness. What is the ultimate fail?
When they were auditioning, forget to ask that.
Hey, you with me moving?
Forget the pacemaker. The engineer actually did it, apparently.
The engineer did it. We didn't know that.
It's like,
We didn't even think about that.
oh, that's pretty messed up.
That's a nice wrinkle right there.
In true Hollywood fashion, the twist continues. Apparently, our lead actress, the victim of this murder, has the last laugh. She faked her own death in order to expose the devious plans of everyone around her. Well played, Vivian Roberts.
That I would really like it.
And a murder mystery?
You leaving Janice behind.
I'm glad you asked
Yeah.